You're welcome to the show. Let's get on with the details now. Now, this afternoon, the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, is my guest on the pulse. He secured re-election as General Secretary barely 3 weeks ago in a hot contest with his deputy, Koku Anyedoho. The margin of victory was overwhelmingly wide, confirming his superiority, if you like, as perhaps the best party secretary in Ghana so far. But it isn't his recent victory or his exploit that is making the headlines today. It is the fixing of filing fees at 400,000 cedis for candidates seeking to lead the NDC into the 2020 election. That is now breaking the trends. Today he's here with me, and you can ask him any question on your mind. You send it to our WhatsApp number 050-564-6330. And also we're taking your questions on Facebook as well. We'll go on to that, and Johnson Asiedu Nketia is already in the studio. But first, let me remind you of what he's been saying as far as the money, the amounts they're charging is concerned.
Please, how much is too much? Can you tell us how much is too much? Nobody knows. What are you comparing with? So far, the questioner doesn't appear to give us the comparison. But let me tell you, when we say that there are hardship, it means cost of living is high. But somebody must pay the cost of running the elections. Who is going to pay? I have not declared to be a presidential candidate. So those who have declared to be presidential candidates must pay the cost. Yes. Yes, so and if you compare these monies against the cost of organizing the activity we are talking about, you see that the party will still have to raise money to supplement whatever will be accruing from these filing fees. So I don't see how anybody can say that it is. If you want to compare us to MPP 3 years ago were charging 500,000. We were all with you here in this country. Did you complain? And 3 years on, we are charging 400. And you still say ours is too high. In fact, when we talk about social democracy, it is not equivalent to poverty. You see, many people have some wrong understanding of what social democracy is all about. Social democracy is not poverty. Social democracy means that the market must work. The productive forces in the economy must be released to achieve their potential.
Achieving their potential. Well, I have the man here in the studio with me, and we'll be getting to him so we can explain or get some explanation further. But you know that already there's been some of the that fee is being challenged by a number of persons, including some of the candidates who have even planned a meeting this afternoon to present a common petition to founder of the party, Jerry John Rawlings. One of them, Eko Spio Gabra, has been speaking for us, as well as spokesperson, speaking to us, as well as the spokesperson of the Joshua Alabi campaign team, Richard Kwashiga.
Well, I think most Ghanaians feel that the fees proposed by our National Executive Committee are out of line with the history, the philosophy, and the values of the National Democratic Congress. I think that's what is important. It is the history, the values, and the philosophy of the National Democratic Congress that is in question, because we have described ourselves as a social democratic party, which most people understand to mean we are a party that is concerned about the challenges facing the downtrodden, the poor in society, and a party that will normally take the appropriate measures to protect the interests of the poorer members of our society. Now we have an opponent called the New Patriotic Party, NPP, who have introduced something called a free senior high school system, where even the children of rich people are having their school fees paid for. And the finance minister has, for example, come out and said, why are we paying the children of wealthy people's school fees? Newspaper Daily Graphic had a conference recently where people were asked, if you had to pay your own children's school fees, will you be willing to pay? And I think 80 or 90% of the people in the room reportedly raised their hands. So we are in a competition with another party which is trying very hard to show that it is closer to poor people and even willing to pay for the school fees of rich people. And then we come out as a Social Democratic Party to charge a filing fee just to lead the party that may not be the kind of fee that even European political parties will charge their leaders. So somebody should do some research, those who are interested in such matters. Find out in Spain, in Germany, in Norway and Finland, or in Israel, or in Japan, or Malaysia, if you want to be a leader of your party, what kind of fees do you pay, even in the United States? And then we can see whether what we are doing in Ghana makes sense at all, because the fees we are paying, whatever fees you pay, whether rent, whether school fees, whether a taxi fare, has to be related to something. And that something is usually the per capita income of the country. What does the average person earn in that country? When you look at what the average person earns, then you can set your school fees accordingly. Even if the costs are higher than what people should pay, you then find a way to subsidize the cost. The health sector, what are the fees people should pay? If it's higher, you find a way to make it easy for them through a national health insurance scheme. So if that is what you're going to do in government to help people, and most tenants would wish governments will come with policies that will protect the average tenant from having to pay 2 years rent in advance, 1 year's rent in advance, and so forth. So if that's the country we are in, when you then establish a 400,000 CD fee for your flag bearer, you are distorting the arguments and the perception of the general public, because they then wonder, oh, NDC, so if we vote for you and you come to power, are you going to start imposing certain kinds of fees on us? Already, MPP are imposing all kinds of taxes on us. If you have a car that is more than 3.00 cc, you must come and pay extra money when it's roadworthy next time. If you have a salary of more than 10,000 and now they've changed it to 20,000, you must come and pay extra money. If you bring goods to the harbor, you must pay extra money. This is what the average Ghanaian is going through right now, which makes them very unhappy about the MPP. Now they're looking to the NDC to come and give them a somewhat different kind of government, a government that will be more sympathetic, a government that will be more understanding of the poor plight of the average Ghanaian. But if that same party that Ghanaians are looking forward to come to save them already begins to show signs at an early stage, even before the contest, that even within our own party, we start charging people exorbitant fees for something no more than being a party leader, then we raise questions in the minds of the average Ghanaian. And as far as equity and fairness is concerned, if the issue was raising money for the party, because the party has financial difficulty, why didn't we start raising it when we were asking people to stand for branch elections, for constituency elections, for regional elections, and even for national elections? For the National Delegates Congress, which ended only recently at the trade fair site, the chairman, the most senior position in the party, paid 10,000 cedis. The general secretary, who is the chief executive officer of the party, and therefore the most important day-to-day member of the party, paid 8,000 cedis. And I believe other party positions were 5,000 cedis and below. Regional chairman, I think, paid only 5,000 cedis. So what has happened in NDC in just 2 weeks? Between the time all these officers paid these amounts, who are also members of the National Executive Committee, they didn't charge themselves 50,000 cedis or 100,000 cedis. But when it came to the turn of flag bearers, they say flag bearers should pay 400,000 cedis. Where is the connection? Where is the logic? So this is what Ghanaians are asking. These are not questions I am asking. These are questions that Ghanaians are asking. And I believe that the Council of Elders of the party needs to rise up and put their foot down and remind the party that we are a social democratic party with a certain tradition. That tradition came out of a revolution.
It hit me like a thunderbolt when I heard it, because I didn't expect it to be that high for a social democratic political party.
You think it's too high?
Yeah, it's high. I mean, clearly, because previously it was 50,000. And then from 50,000, we are moving to 400,000. That is on the high side, you know. But that notwithstanding.
For you, what would have been an appropriate figure?
Well, even in opposition, I think that 200,000, which would have been about 400% of what existed, what was paid previously, could have been even acceptable. But 800% was, for me, something mind-boggling. It appears in one breath as a deterrent, you know, to prevent others from contesting or throwing in the towel.
So you had Ekos Gabra, who wants to be flag bearer of the party. You had Richard Koshiga, who speaks for Joshua Alabi, who also wants to be flag bearer for the party. The questions are many.